to do this study on how cities in the United States are being affected by climate change and how they're preparing or not for those effects. When I was working on a study with the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, and I was working with colleagues who are working on climate change mitigation and adaptation around the world, and I was realizing that these colleagues had research that we didn't have, and that there was this kind of unwarranted assumption that cities in the United States are going to be fine in the face of climate change. And I thought, well, we don't really have the answer to that question, and we desperately need it. We studied 6 cities that vary across a lot of dimensions in the United States. They include Tampa, Florida, Tucson, Arizona, Boston, Massachusetts, Raleigh, North Carolina, Portland, Oregon, and Los Angeles, California. And these cities vary in terms of size, in terms of geographic location, in terms of populations at risk, in terms of climate risks that they face, such that other cities that vary along these dimensions could also learn from these case studies. Cities are a very important scale of study when it comes to climate change for a number of reasons. First, 80% of the United States population actually already lives in cities. So it's the vast majority of our population. And cities are often home to our most vulnerable populations living in dense urban environments where the urban heat island is worse than other places, on coastal fronts where flooding and sea level rise is a greater potential risk than in other locations, et cetera, et cetera. There are many risks that are in cities that are exacerbated by the infrastructure and the population distribution. One of the findings of the study is that public engagement and civic advocacy really matters. And so for individuals living in cities, really any city in the United States, if you're concerned about climate change, mitigation, or adaptation, you should take action. And there are lots of kinds of action that you can take. And in particular, in light of this study, the action that we would recommend would be engaging with your leaders, your political leaders, telling them what your concerns are and asking them to take action themselves on a policy level, on a regulatory level, find out what the issues are affecting your city, and contact those who are in charge of actually making a difference in the policy realm.